guys, and welcome back to my channel with me and the dog, who actually doesn't hate me as much as he's letting on. Do you love mommy? You love mommy. Anyway, today I am going to do a little bit of a rant about something that has been bugging me for a while now, but it's gotten really bad lately, so I figured I would come on here, rant about it, see if anyone else relates to the problems that I'm having. So if you didn't know, I'm from Canada, which to some of you may seem like this foreign, barren wasteland. And if it's not sounding like that to you, it definitely sounds like that to Sephora. So my rant today is actually going to be about the discrepancies between Sephora oh, my dog just jumped down. My rant today is going to be about the discrepancies between Sephora Canada and Sephora America, US, you know, the original Sephora. So I've been noticing lately that there are quite a few differences between the two. I actually have my notes right here on my laptop, so lots of little stickers. So if you see me looking down at something, this is what I'm looking down at. So my first thing that actually started this entire rant is that things are constantly available later to us. The first thing that comes to mind is there's little Machino bears that everyone has been raving about, screaming about, ranting about, kind of sounds like me, lately. So originally the bears had a release date, I believe it was around the 8th or the 9th of August, then that release date got pushed back a week. So I was thinking, oh, okay, like that's not bad, I can wait a week. I know some people were really upset. However, I just thought, you know, it's a week, I can do it. Then I realized that that release date was just for America, and Canadians were pushed back another 2 weeks. Now I know that like 2 weeks doesn't seem like a long time whatsoever. However, a bunch of Americans now have these bears, and for someone with a YouTube channel who reviews a lot of makeup, who's trying to get on top of brand new releases, this week makes a huge difference. So while I was trying to compete with other people to be one of the first ones who could get and review the bear, now I'm behind by a week just because I'm Canadian, which personally doesn't seem fair. Another example is the Kat Von D Glimmer Veil lipsticks, which I'm hoping to review on this channel soon. They again were released in America a couple weeks before they were released in Canada. And it's just products like that that are continually released later and later in Canada, and I'm not really sure why. However, we'll be talking about that a little later on in this video. Another example is the week of wow. I actually phoned Sephora up over this because I saw that there were these absolutely amazing deals on like ABH contour kits, highlighting kits that were only available in the US, but they were being promoted as if they were just coming from Sephora. The week of wow products and sales are going on, and nowhere did it say it wouldn't be available in Canada. So I phoned up Sephora actually, and the woman I spoke to, she was super polite, super nice, but she just thought that they were going to be available in Canada. So me being the psycho I am, I was like constantly refreshing that sale page, wanting to get my contour kit, and it was a full week later that it actually went on sale, which isn't a problem. I have mine coming in the mail now. I'd really love if Sephora made it, if they were going to make these delays for Canadians, a bit more well known, so that we're not seeing all of our US friends getting these items, being super excited and being like, well, why can't I see it on my page? And more importantly, when will I? So the next problem I'm moving on to is the variety of brands. When you go onto the Sephora website, you can actually click, it's on like the right hand side, and you can go to either the Canadian or American store, and it's super easy to flip between the two. So I went on this morning and I put my computer screen in half and put one side of the Canadian brands and one side of the American brands that Sephora carries. And overall in the American Sephora, there are so many more brands. I had it listed in alphabetical order, and for every single category, there were easily a few more. Some it was like 1 or 2, others it was like 5 or 10 more brands in every single category. Some of the ones that I noticed that I was a bit upset about are Louboutin, the Disney collection, because I'm such a nerd about Disney. I'm actually going in a week, so it would have been so fun if I had cute little like Disney makeup to play with while in Disney, but that's a whole other thing. Wild Fox and Kiehl's and the Beauty Chef. But again, these are just some brands that I recognize. There were a lot more on the list that just aren't available in Canada. I also noticed that the page for Fenty Beauty, which is the new Rihanna beauty line, you can only see that up and coming page on the American Sephora and not on the Canadian Sephora. So I'm really hoping that it'll be released at the same time for America and Canada, or it'll just be like available in Canada in general. But again, we don't know because us Canadians get very little information. And then finally, the Play by Sephora, which if you don't know what Play by Sephora is, it's like a subscription box similar to FabFitFun or Ipsy, where it has multiple different new products from Sephora, and you can take them in at any time of the month, and people at Sephora will help you use them, and it's a great deal. It's really cheap, and it's just not available in Canada yet, which I'm surprised about, because if you're going through the hassle and the effort of making a product, why would you not do it for all countries? I think the point that I'm getting at here, and why I'm so annoyed with Sephora lately, and again, I'm going to get into this later, but it just seems like they're so focused on their American customers that they don't really care about the Canadians, or I'm sure about other international countries. I heard when I was reading through forums today, just as a side note, a lot of my information came from Reddit and other makeup blogs, that a lot of Australians are finding the same problem. But I'm sure that this extends to a lot of different countries. But Play by Sephora is only offered in America right now, and they've never really offered an explanation as to why they're not offering it to other countries. And it just seems like everything is so targeted towards the Americans, they just kind of forget that the rest of us wear makeup. So getting now into customer service between Canada and America, I've noticed a lot of really small differences. I read on forums that some people are like, oh, the people who work at Sephora in Canada are a lot more unfriendly. Personally, I've never found that. I've usually had like pretty good experiences at Sephora in store, or the odd time I've had to phone Sephora over an online purchase, I've had pretty good customer service. However, there are little things that bug me, like for example, you can't use gift cards, like Sephora gift cards, online in Canada, but you can in the US. And I don't really know much about technology or how the website works. I feel like I keep saying that, but I feel like if you have the technology and the process available that you can use a gift card to purchase an American online order, it really wouldn't be too hard to extend it to Canada. I've also received a lot of emails that are for American promotions only. Recently, there was one that you got $20 or $25 off of a purchase. I was so excited. It was in store only. So I went into store. I bought, I think it was like $50 or $75 worth of product. And then when I went up to the cash register, the girl was pretty confused. She was like, oh, I saw something about that, but I'm not sure entirely what it is. And then she got the manager, and it was this whole big ordeal, and I felt bad because I felt like we were all just wasting our time. And then finally we found out that it was an American only promotion, and since I already had gone into Sephora and gotten my products, I just bought them anyways without the $25 discount. But it was just a very big ordeal that really could have been avoided if Sephora had just put very blatantly, this is for American customers only. If you're only going to offer something to your American customers and really only show that love to them, you might as well make it known. I don't get what the kind of sneaky behind the scenes hiding is all about, really, because they're the ones who are not offering it to Canadians, so you might as well make it known, right? I also find that a lot of the rewards are different in Canada versus America, like in the rewards bazaar, that word, where there'll be a higher quantity available in America, or there'll be better prizes offered in America, and not the same. The big thing is the quantity offered in Canada. The number of times I've gone on to see the rewards, because I know exactly when they drop on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're already sold out, and that's because there's such a limited quality. And yes, I know that there's a very limited quality in America too. There's a very limited quantity in America too. However, they still have that few more, and if you were really on top, you just have a better chance. Now, this here, I actually wasn't completely aware of, and it took a little bit of research to find this out. So when comparing the prices of Canadian versus US items, the Canadian ones are sometimes outrageously more expensive. I found an example of the Tarantino Star Child Odyssey palette that was $39 in America and $59 in Canada, which is almost a 50% increase, which totally doesn't correlate with the dollar difference between the Canadian and the American dollar. So looking for an explanation for this, I was actually on one of the Sephora forums because they have that beauty community talk, and an official statement by someone who works in Sephora, I believe her name was Olivia, said, "All products that are carried on both Sephora.com and our Canadian retail stores are priced consistently and according to the manufacturer's suggested retail price for Canadian sales. We recognize that with a current conversion rate, this is not ideal for our Canadian clients, and we will be sure to pass along your feedback to the appropriate contact in our organization." So what I really pulled from this and what I was reading about from other people is that the manufacturers suggest a price for Canadians that doesn't always match up to the American cost. Some people are saying it has to do with customs or the travel time from the border, but I think at the end of the day, just in general, what I've noticed is a lot of companies will make the shipping to Canada outrageously expensive, or Too Faced is really bad with this, where they'll really mark up the price for Canadians when you order from their website, and I think it's because they know we're desperate, we're going to pay it anyways because we want these products, we want these limited edition products. I see a lot of the time it's limited edition products that this is happening with, and they know we're gonna buy it anyways. But it's pretty unfair that we're spending a little bit more on makeup every time than Americans are. And how the shipping works, and again, I had to do a bit more research to look into this, is Sephora now has a warehouse in Canada. So they have an American warehouse and they have a Canadian warehouse. And while this is good, like I'm VIB Rouge and I find that my items always come within 1 to 2 days because it's shipping from that Canadian warehouse instead of all the way from the US. So while it's good on time, this is also bad because now Sephora US and Sephora Canada have different quantities and different things in stock. I found that a lot of items won't be available on Sephora Canada, but it will be in stock in Sephora US, and I think that's just because we have lower quantities in Canada, but I couldn't confirm that. It just seems like there are so many of those items that sell it really quickly that are really hot right now. Like there's Steel and Magnificent Metal Shadows that are all available in the US but not available in Canada. And my problem with this is that I do a lot of retail shopping, or not retail, online shopping. I do a lot of online shopping and retail shopping, just shopping in general. So I do a lot of online shopping, and usually what happens is if you're just going to a random website, things are either in stock or out of stock, and they don't know what country you're in until you actually add those things to cart and go to checkout. So it just confuses me as to why Sephora has 2 different inventories. They probably have more for other countries, but 2 distinct different inventories. Well, a lot of stores just have one, and it just makes it more fair for everyone. I feel like I'm complaining a lot here right now, but it just seems like the way that Sephora operates is very geared towards their American consumers and not to their Canadian consumers, and it just, to me personally, doesn't seem like a good business strategy because there are Canadians who are desperate for makeup and want to buy makeup and either can't get a hold of it or it costs too much money, and Sephora is just putting us through all of these loopholes, which I know is causing a lot of Canadians to try to look for other alternatives. Unfortunately, unlike America, we don't have Ulta and we don't have stores like, I know for example Morphe has stores in the US and they don't have stores in Canada yet, so it just seems like it's a little harder for us to get makeup. And also then how the shipping works is when this whole change happened, Sephora said that they couldn't ship some items, or some brands, to Canada actually, which included some Bobbi Brown products, Chanel, Clairsonic, Clinique, Donna Karan, Giorgio Armani, select Laura Mercier products. Mind you, Laura Mercier is literally always sold out on the Canadian website and not the US one. Michael Kors, L'Occitane, Ralph Lauren, a lot of different perfume brands, which isn't a big deal to me considering I have my perfume that I like my little samples, and I don't order it a lot. However, if you were someone who wanted to order perfume, this obviously is a pretty big hassle. And now, apparently this is because these brands don't comply with the Canadian packaging laws, which isn't Sephora's fault at all. I thought it was just important to really like point out this difference as well. So yeah, that's all I have for the differences between Sephora and Canada and the US. I know it doesn't seem like a big difference when I'm just rattling off all the things, but if you're a pretty regular Sephora customer like I am, and you're constantly shopping at Sephora, you just have to think to yourself, well, this would be easier. I'd be getting more rewards, or I'd be saving money, or I'd have access to different products if I lived in the US. Which, I mean, obviously isn't ideal. I love Canada. Don't want to go into Trump's land right now, not to get political. But yeah, I think that there are a lot of differences that I would love if Sephora could work towards really caring about their international clients. I've read some things about this on the internet, but I haven't read a lot, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you annoyed with the differences between Sephora Canada and Sephora US? Would you like to see that we have the same opportunities, the same brands, the same rewards, the same prices, all of that, or are you happy with Sephora as is? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I make videos pretty frequently, and thanks for watching.